All right, I am recording. So welcome everyone to our first one of four Zoom sessions, and Ava just started barking again. So that's gonna be fun. I really don't wanna edit this. Oh, my sister's back. That's what it is. I'm on Zoom and I'm recording. Hi. Okay. All right. So in today's Zoom, we're going to talk about parties and bookings because we're a party plan company. For anyone who's watching the replay, if you don't know me, real quick, my name's Melina Dixon, and I'm the team leader for the Sprinkle Divas team. And I just celebrated 8 years with Pink Zebra, and my team and I, we decided to get together and just chat, brainstorm, talk. And so I'm sharing a little bit of information just about parties and about bookings, because that is in this type of company, in a party plan company, parties are really the best way to grow. Parties are a really good funnel to other things. Parties bring you customers, parties bring you more parties, parties introduce you to your next team member. And so everything really starts with the party. And in just a little bit, I'm going to talk about my launch party. I encourage everyone to host a launch party. And the great thing is that you can launch as much as you would like. You can launch as often as you would like. I typically relaunch every time the catalog changes. And that's just an opportunity to like reconnect with customers and share what's new with them. But as you're new, still within your first year or even longer, it's totally okay to host your own parties every month as often as you'd like. We'll talk a little bit more about that too. But what I first wanted to start with is just the different types of parties, because this year, 2020, has been such a it's just been such a different year. No, you know, there are people who are doing things in person, but many of us are not. So I wanted to lay out all the different ways, because I am confident that one day we'll be able to get back to more of those in-person things. I typically do a lot of vendor events in the fall, and that didn't happen. I think I did 2 or 3 maybe. Yeah, I think I did 3. They were all very small. They weren't well attended. And vendor events is actually not a topic that I'm going to be talking about over these 4 trainings, because just right now, it just doesn't feel very relevant. So the first party style is our traditional home parties. And so for anyone who doesn't know, with Pink Zebra, when you join, in your starter kit, you get catalogs, you get order forms, you get scent testers, and you get, depending on which kit you get, we'll decide what kind of products you get for like show and tell purposes or demo purposes. But every kit comes with a simmering light warmer and an accent shade. Every kit comes with a jar of sprinkles. I'm trying to think what else comes in every kit. I don't remember, but I know in the deluxe kit, you're going to get some of those soaks products that you wouldn't get in your standard kit. But basically you start off with a selection of things to show people. So at a traditional in-home party, I'll just very quickly just tell you how I've done mine. I do keep my products set up super, super simple. It's really easy to want to take everything. I've done it. I've taken more things than I feel like I should, because it's just like, oh, I want to show them everything. But you don't want to show up to their house with a suitcase. You don't want to look like you're moving in. So I recommend just keeping it really, really simple. But you also have to feel like you have a good selection of things to show people. So whether you get it in your kit or not, I do recommend you have a bottle of soaks. I would recommend a pack of go-karts. I would recommend a wall hug. I'd even recommend like a naked read. I think those three things with the soaks are really awesome. If you can have a super clean product, I think that's important. I think the demand for disinfecting products isn't going to go away maybe ever. I think people are always going to be conscious of that after this year. So having a hand sanitizer that, you know, people can try, or a hand soap that maybe you put in your host bathroom or at your host kitchen sink for people to use during the party. Having that disinfecting spray, you don't have to have all of them, but have something to be able to show people. Obviously have your scent testers, and then, you know, take that simmering light and that accent shade that comes in your kit, and then consider, it's totally up to you, and you can build as slowly as you need to, but maybe have an extra shade to show. So we'll get to the end on how I've earned a lot of my demo and like display items for free and half price. We can talk about that at the end. I want to get through all the parties, but basically at the home party, I've got my simple product display, and I do what I call the purse game. It is a very simple way to share Pink Zebra products and share about the company without feeling like you're putting on an hour-long lecture. If people are engaged and paying attention, you can do it pretty quickly and it's fun. If people are like going off on tangents and chit-chatting, it might take a little longer, but either way, it's a lot of fun. People always seem to enjoy it. They learn, they laugh. That's really my goal. Like I want to, I've heard someone use the word edutain, educate and entertain. That's my goal. And so that's basically like what I do. We play this purse game. I will have a checklist with all the scent names on it, and I break it down into which categories you can get it in. So there'll be the scent name in one column. The next column will say like it. The third column will say love it. The fourth column will say don't like it. And then the following columns will say like, so sprinkles come in jars and cartons, but there used to be a time where it just, every scent came in a jar and only select scents came in a carton, but now they come in both, all of them. So I would say, you know, sprinkles, jar or carton, and then it would say yes all the way down. Then I'd have a column for soaks, and I'd put yes in just the boxes that corresponded to the scents that came in soaks. And then I'd now have super clean and list which scents came in that formula or format. And people just sniff. I have all my scent testers separated by scent category. Pass them around, people sniff, and they check off the scents that they like. I personally, at my home parties, do a party special. And what I'll do, I wish I had an order form here to show you, but I take the order form and I count down to the fourth line. I highlight it, and if they, you know, put 3 items on their order form, their fourth item can be, you know, it'll be discounted. I will give them a personal discount. That's not required, but I have found that it's helped increase my sales. I remember the first time I did it at a home party, almost every single person there got at least 4 items. Some got 8, so I gave them, you know, the 8th item at a discount as well. And that can be 10% off. It could be 15% off. I've always done 20%, but it's really what your comfort level is, because at the end of the day, that 20% is profit that's not going into your pocket. But the great thing about this special is that it's not going to cost you anything. It's not like you're giving them more than what the product will cost you. You're just giving them some of that profit. So, so I've done that and I really like it. In my purse game, I won't go super in depth to all the letters right now. I can definitely do that another time, but that's where I will share the different product categories and tell them, you know, info about it. The big thing for me is just not feeling like I'm putting on this huge lecture, and there's a lot of information that we could give people. It would be very easy to talk for an hour if we just wanted to tell them everything A to Z, but I want to really touch on, like, when did Pink Zebra start? Who are our founders? Why did they create this company? And then move on to like wax and warmers, move on to our soaks products, talk about our super clean products, talk about the hosting opportunity. So that's maybe where I would give my host, a small gift and thank her in front of all of her friends to really like, well, it's twofold. Number one, I want to be appreciative of the person who's hosting for me. And number two, I want her, like, FOMO is real. I want her friends and family who are at that party to be like, oh, she got a goodie and she's going to get host rewards. Okay, I want to have a party because I want a goodie and I want host rewards too. So that's my goal with that. And then I also talk about the business opportunity as well. I, try not to get like super preachy about it, but I love this company. I love the things that I've achieved in this company, and it's exciting. And I just want to really plant the seed with people there at the party that like, this is a fun business. You have an opportunity to make money. You have an opportunity to meet new friends. So I highlight some of the reasons why people join, because believe it or not everybody joins to make extra income. Some people really join for the more social and fun aspects of it. Okay, so moving on, because I talked a lot about traditional home parties, but the next party style is our blend bash parties. That can be done in person, but even before the pandemic, people got really good at doing them virtually. And so with our blend bash parties, it's a make and take party. That's how I've explained it to people. It's an opportunity for people to pre-purchase that bash box, bring it to the party, fill their blending bags, and have product to take home that night. And if you are giving people enough time between them ordering that bash box and the actual party date, then there's the opportunity for them to come to the party and order things outside of that bash box. Vicki just had in December, I don't even remember, it was like $500-600 blend bash party. Vicki, is that right? It was somewhere in like this, you're on mute. Or was it more? Am I just?
No, it was, I had two, one in November, one in December.
And they were both over $600, right?
One was over 1,000, the other was over 900.
So, oh my gosh.
They were really good parties. And that was just 2 parties.
That's awesome.
So I mean, you can do it.
And that really was people, getting their box and then at the party seeing other things and wanting to have those too. So it's totally possible. And that was kind of like, well, Pink Zebra wanted us to have a party style that could be more like a little more interactive, although I think a traditional home party is very interactive with the sniffing and like depending on what games you play. But the blend bash party it's like the sip and paint night. You're not sitting down, you're gathered around the blend bash, you're sniffing, you're creating recipes, you're having fun. And depending on your crowd, if they are new to Pink Zebra, maybe you're sharing with them more than you'd share with like a crowd who's done this, a time or two. We have a director in our company named Shannon Stewart, and she parties with listen, y'all, the same group of people every single month. They each take turns being the host. And the great thing about it is we usually have about 6 blend bash themes per catalog. So over the course of the year, they've had an opportunity to actually party with every single blend bash theme. And she's our, pretty much our top seller in the company, doing these blend bashes, and people are having fun, and she's partying with just more than just that one group, but she specifically does have a group that every month, like it's not a matter of like when's the next party, it's who's going to be the next host, because they've got it down like clockwork. But it's been a really, really fun addition to our party offering because it's different. Other companies aren't doing the same kind of thing. Of course, with some of the food companies, there are those meal prep workshops, but I mean, that's not a party for me. Like I would go, I guess I'd go and I'd feel really good about myself that I prepped all these meals, but like that's not getting me excited. But if I could go and smell some awesome scents and just hang out and have fun and, you know, create my own recipes and have goodies to take home. Like, that's exciting. So the next party style I'm going to talk about is online parties, which I feel like have been in, that's probably the most common party that we've held this year in our company. And so most people are doing their online parties on Facebook, just because Facebook's free. We're already on it, and you can create events or you can create groups. But there are other platforms that you can party on. Most of them have a fee to them. And I just wanted to call one of them out because I've tried it and I've used it, and I can give you a little bit of information on it. And I can tell you why I'm not using it, but why I liked it, if that's helpful at all. So it's called Squee, Sqweee. And what I really like about Squee is that it's essentially a virtual living room. You don't have to be live. Like, you have to be live behind your computer, but you don't have to go live and be on camera necessarily. You plan out your posts ahead of time, you schedule them within the Squee platform, and then you push the start the party button when it's party time. And all of these different, you can have videos, you can have images, you can do polls, you can even spin a wheel to announce like a prize winner. There's all sorts of really awesome things within it. And I liked that because if I could get people there, there's a group chat. I could talk to people individually, or we could all talk in a group. So I did figure out a pretty decent flow to do it in about 30 minutes. I knew what to say in the group chat. I asked questions along the way. I got people engaged. The thing I didn't like about it was that it was confusing to people, like, because you maybe start your party on Facebook. You start a Facebook event so that they have a place to hang out leading up to the party, so that you can share things leading up to the party. And then all of a sudden it's like, okay, now let's move over to Squee on party night so that we can hang out together. And so there was confusion there. So then I also tried it where we didn't have any pre-party hangout. It was just, here's the Squee link, go ahead and RSVP. People were able to get, a reminder. I could remind them. And then when we all got together on Squee, I was like, I really miss the pre-party connecting. I missed that. I couldn't figure out how to balance it out, how to make it work. And I still wanted to give out samples to people. So my sister, Kelsey, who, so she lives with me, but she's getting ready to move to Oklahoma. She was one of my first Squee hosts in March. And it wasn't a bad party, but there was a lot of like figuring things out there. I was able to get samples to people. People did show up. But I just still I missed what I had on Facebook. And the other thing with it, Squee is $20 a month. So one thing that you have to think about when you're in direct sales is what are expenses that are non-negotiable, you have to have, and then what are expenses that you can do without, or or take or leave. You just, at the end of the day, you do want to make money. You don't want to you don't want to spend everything that you make on different things. And there's shiny object syndrome. I'm guilty of it myself. I did like Squee, but I didn't like it so much that it just made sense to pay $20 every single month. That's I'm not great at math, but I think that's $240 for the year. And Facebook at the end of the day is free. Thank goodness it's still free. So that just didn't make sense for me to continue, but I liked it. And so it's just something to think about in the future. The next party styles that I want to talk about kind of are, I've got them lumped together because I feel like they kind of go hand in hand, or they're interchangeable. So the first party style is a catalog party. The second is an on-the-go party. And so they're similar in the sense that you're kind of removed from the party experience. It's really your host sharing that catalog or a catalog link with her friends and family, encouraging people to collect orders. You can still, people can still smell things because maybe you're sending samples to your host and she's passing those around. With the on-the-go party, I think if I had to choose between the two, I like the on-the-go party more because the way I've done it is I've given people like a full-size jar of sprinkles, a full-size bottle of soaks, and it's not for them to keep forever. It's for them to show and then give back to me. I've also included like a simmer pot. So if they're in an office and they can melt scents, then I tell them, plug up that simmer pot, take that jar of sprinkles, put a capful or two in there, and then melt this at your desk if you're able to. And then when people come by, they're able to see our sprinkles in action. So I like that one a little bit more. But in both cases, it's my host collecting the orders. I usually have them, like if people are actually writing out an order form and they're going to give the host a check or cash, then she's telling me what they want and I'm totaling them up. The thing I don't love about those is that at the end of the day, I don't feel like I have a relationship with those people. And that is actually why my friend Amanda, who used to be with the tag team, that's why her and her business partner, Rachel, created a Facebook party formula, because you can only hold so many home parties in a week. There's only so many hours in a day. And so to increase their sales, they were like, well, let's do catalog parties. But they felt the same way. They're like, but I don't know these people. Linda bought, 3 pairs of earrings because they sold jewelry, but like Linda doesn't know us and we don't really know her. So they thought there's got to be a better way. There's got to be a way that we can actually connect with people. And that's kind of how the Facebook party came to be. So while I've done most all of these, and I recommend trying as many of them as you can, because you don't know until you try which ones are going to really work the best for you. Because I feel like there's a party style for every single personality. Try them, but they may not work for you. They may not be something that you do on a regular basis. But if I had a host say, hey, I want to do a catalog party, I'd probably say, well, hey, can we also do something online? And then essentially I just turned that catalog party into a Facebook party, but I'm still going to send her a catalog. I'm still going to send her some samples. She's still welcome to share that with people. She's welcome to send a link to people, but I'm going to try and get those people on Facebook if they're on Facebook so that I have an opportunity to send them samples or at least get to know them and have them get to know me. The next party style, I don't know a whole lot about, but I wanted to include it because again, the more options we have, the better. The more tools we have in our tool belt, the better overall. So this is text parties. And I'm envisioning this as one of two ways. Actually, you could probably do it either. So it's either a group text, which I hate. I hate group text. I was in one with my in-laws for Thanksgiving. We were going to try and get together, and then at the last minute, someone's grandfather, one of the cousin's girlfriends, her grandfather came down with COVID, and people had been around that family, and so it just didn't make sense for us to all get together. So I hate group chats, but you could do that. Your host could start a group message through text with all of her people that she wants to invite. I would recommend the host reaching out to those people ahead of time to say, hey, I'm having a text party with my Pink Zebra Girl, and I want to invite you to the group chat. Melina's going to post, one time a day this week. There's an opportunity to win a prize. She's offering free samples, whatever you want to say, but like keep it really simple. And then I wouldn't recommend blowing people's phones up all day, because that's what happened with my in-laws group chat. And if they're watching this on YouTube, I love you all. I miss you. But the other way that you could do it is the host could make a list of who she wants to invite to that text party, and she could have those individual text conversations with those people separately. It could be, a graphic and maybe a link to your website, maybe a party link or a link to the online catalog. And it's, hey, I'm having a text party this week with Melina, my pink zebra girl. And here's her website, or here's the party link in case you want to check it out. Melina is sending samples, and then maybe you follow up with a link on like, here's how you can request samples from her. And maybe it's a Google form, or maybe it's your phone number and they text you and they just say, hey, I'm Sally and I'm coming to Susie's party and she told me that I could get samples. And then you have a conversation with them. And then maybe it's a couple days later, the host messages people a video. You know, you can do it so many different ways. All of these can be done so many different ways. Just because I play a purse game at my home parties doesn't mean you have to play a purse game at your home parties. So it's really just figuring out, again, what works best for you. The last party style that we're going to talk about is the mystery host party. And this one really is, for the most part, virtual. You could have a home party, a traditional home party, or even a blend bash home party, and do it mystery host style, meaning that at the end of the party, one lucky person wins the host rewards. You totally could do that. But what I've found most people do with a mystery host party is it's, hey, I've got this party open. Anyone who orders this month goes into the drawing to be the host. And that's essentially how it works. The great thing about Pink Zebra is we can be the host as many times as we want. And I do that a lot. I'm the host. If you looked at my party report, you'd see that I host parties more than anybody else. But those aren't always me actually hosting a party. A lot of times it's me pulling just random orders from customers, reorders usually, or maybe I get an order from a brand new customer who's not connected with a party and I'm like, oh, I'll just move it under my party. But every once in a while I want to gift those host rewards. I want to, spoil my customers. And so I will do it mystery host style and I'll give someone the opportunity to get those rewards. So those are my party ideas. I do have a few non-party ideas. But before I move on, does anyone have any questions about what I just shared? All right, silence is golden. So here are my non-party ideas. And the reason that I wanted to bring these up was just because I try to think outside the box. I learn ideas from all over the place. I have different, I have friends in different direct sales companies that share ideas with me. And so when I hear something, like if it's kind of a party, or if it's in the realm of party, or if it's just a really good way to help me get some sales volume, then I'm all for it. So the first idea is mystery bags. And typically what I do with my mystery bags is I take product that I already have on hand. I always have some kind of sprinkles. Maybe it's from a leftovers from a blend bash, or maybe I got some cartons for half price on, when I was the host for a party. But I always have that kind of stuff. I try to get warmers and wall hugs with my free credit, and then sprinkles and occasionally soaks with my half price items. And so I've done mystery bags where I've done them a couple different price points, and I will basically list how many bags I have. The last time I did it, I had 20, and I don't know if it was just people were like, I don't know if I just hit it at a good time. People were really itching to spend money, but all 20 of them were gone within less than 24 hours. Most of them were probably gone within like 5 hours. And I, at that time, did 1 for 15, 2 for 25. But you can do them for more. I've done them for 25 before. But I wanted to make sure that people were getting really good value. So I did that 1 for 15, 2 for 25, thinking more people would do the 25 to get 2 bags. And because I'm getting things for free and half price, like I have a little bit of wiggle room in what the product actually cost me. So there's that. So I went live. Well, first of all, people claimed their numbers. I invoiced them either through Venmo or PayPal or Square, collected all the money, and then I went live and I revealed all the bags. So people got to see what they got. Some of them got, sprinkles and soaks. I did tell them that if we sold out of all 20 bags, that I would toss in 3 simmer pots into my drawing. So 3 people got simmer pots, and those were, y'all, I got them all for free. I paid tax for them. So I was more than happy to help them find homes, because like I only have so many outlets here, so I can't use them all. So along that same line with the mystery bags concept, we learned something this year called punch cartons, or punch cups, as I've heard them referred to. A lot of people are using cartons for them, which is how the name punch cartons came to be. And so it's essentially the same kind of thing. It's a mystery. You don't know what you're going to get. I've also done those this year with product I had here on hand. I've done it with bash boxes. I've done it with super clean products, sprinkles, soaks, some of those just add soaks items like go cards and hang-its and wall hugs, all those things, just whatever I happen to have. I try to put bundles together because I want people to feel like they're getting a really good value for what they're spending. With my punch cartons, they were either 25 or 30, I can't remember. That included shipping. Totally up to you on if you want to include shipping or not. I knew for some of the items, because I knew I was sending sprinkles in blending bags, that it wasn't going to be super expensive for me. And then some of them that I was sending simmer pots, they might be a little more expensive. But for me, my motivation behind doing it was, hey, I've got these sprinkles, I've got these things, I've got a lot of things that I got for free. If I move these out of my inventory, although we don't have inventory, but that's essentially what it is. It's product here I have on hand. Then even after my postage expenses, I've still got some money left, and I can decide if I want to keep that, if I want to use it to invest in some other things. It's kind of like, it's been a way for me to grow my sales volume certain times this year when I wasn't where I wanted to be, because maybe I had $200, just say hypothetically, and I could say, oh, well, I did just sell a lot of sprinkles in my punch cartons, so I could go and order a couple cartons, or I could order a new blend bash if I wanted to. That's kind of how I've run it. I do think for the mystery bags and the punch cartons, it is helpful to already have the things on hand that you want to move. Now, could you do it the other way, where you don't have any of these things? You're collecting people's money and then you're going to go and put the orders in for them? Absolutely. You could, sell those $25 punch cartons and then order whatever it is that person won. You'd order it, under a party, and then you could use those host rewards for whatever you want. So that's just one way to do it. And then the last non-party idea that I'm going to share, my friend has referred to it as the unparty, UN-party, the unparty. So it's not a party, but it is a party. And it's just a different way of thinking of it. And so essentially, our party links that we set up, think of them as a referral link instead of a party link. So, I've done this with customers before. I'll have a customer reach out to me. I mean, literally, I got this idea from my friend and I was like, this is brilliant. The next person that reaches out to me to place an order, I'm going to offer this to them. And I offered it to several people. Some said yes, some said no. So someone reached out to me and said, Melina, I need this, and this. I need to reorder. And I was like, awesome. So I went into back office and I created a party in their name and I entered their order under that party. I told them what their total was. I collected the money. I placed the order. And then I said, hey, did you know that your order is like 25% of the way to be a qualified order? So $200 is a qualified party. That's where host rewards kick in. Did you know that if you could find 3 friends to order what you ordered, a warmer and some jars of sprinkles, that you could get a simmer pot for $3 and a carton of sprinkles for $15 or whatever. And so what I just did, I know this might be a little confusing, but what I did was I took the host rewards and I took away what the dollar amount, like the free and the half price, what that all meant, and put it into products. So most of our simmer pots are $28. I just told her she could get one for $3 because at the $200 level, a host gets $25 in free credit. So 28 minus 25 is 3. And then a carton of sprinkles is actually 14. I said 15, but whatever. So I'm using that party link as a referral link instead. I'm not saying, hey, you should book a party. I'm saying, hey, if you can find 3 more friends to purchase what you purchased, you could get X, Y, and Z. Why don't I give you a referral link and share it with some friends? What do you think about that? That kind of thing. So I've done that a few times. And it just, it's just one, not everybody wants to have a party. That's the big thing in it. Not everybody's going to be a host for you. Not everyone's going to be a good host for you. So it's just it's a way to party without a party is what it all boils down to. Any questions before I move on? No? Okay, so now let's talk about booking parties, because I told you like all the things about all the different parties and the not parties, but how do we actually book them? So the easiest way, this is my personal opinion, the easiest way to book a party is to book it from another party. And that's why I encourage you to host your own, especially when you're new, but continue to host your own. There's no rule, again, on how many parties you can host. You don't have to call them a launch party every time. 6 months down the line, you don't have to say, I'm launching my business. No, you've already launched. You're in outer space. You've already launched, but it's still okay to continue to have your own parties. So I promised I would tell you about my launch party. So it was January 2013, which feels like a bajillion years ago, but it wasn't. It was just a little less than 8 years ago. And I made a list it was a crazy amount of people, like a lot of people. I really I took that Frank list that they give us and I went crazy with it. I thought of like friends, family, coworkers, people who had supported me in my previous company, like customers and even team members I had and sister consultants in that other company. And once I had my date, I just started reaching out to people to let them know what I was doing. Hey, I'm having this party to launch my business. I'd love for you to come and check it out, learn a little more. And again, this was in person. I didn't start my business initially doing online parties. I didn't even know what a Facebook party was in 2012. It didn't exist, you guys. Or at least it didn't exist to me. So I texted and I made phone calls and I emailed and I Facebook messaged and I did all of that communication to invite people to my party. And I had about 12 people at my launch party. I was super, super happy with that. You don't have to have 12 people, but obviously I wanted as many people as possible to be there. Because I thought, well, the more people that are here, the more people that are going to learn. Nobody knew about Pink Zebra. And so my mission really was just tell as many people as possible. So I had 12 people at my party. I had a lot of people who couldn't come though. And you're going to find that. The reason that I hosted a party before I joined was I kept asking my friend Rebecca, just invite me to what you have going on, but I could never make it. There was always something going on and I couldn't be at her party. And I finally said, you know what, let me just have a party. And that's why I hosted. And I'm so glad that I did, because literally when she got to my house and set everything up, I was like, oh my gosh, this is really cute and everything smells amazing. And I think I should just join this company. And 3 weeks later I did. So, you know, I did have a really large amount of people who couldn't be there. Obviously my list was like, I think I put it in a spreadsheet and it was like 200 people. And I didn't even know I knew that many people. But it was, 200 people. Not everybody could come. I didn't want everybody to come because my house would not hold that many people. So the people who said they couldn't come, I said, well, hey, do you want to sniff my scent testers? Like, can I bring them to work for you to sniff? Or would you like to check out a catalog? Or can I send you my party link? And just so you can see and learn and check things out. And through doing that, I got outside orders. So between that launch party and the outside orders, my party closed at $805. And I am not saying that to impress anyone. I am not saying that to brag. I'm just giving you real life examples of what can happen. Now, there are people who have had, you know, $20 launch parties, $2,000 launch parties, everywhere in between. And what I really want to say is the launch party is, it's great because it's that practice, it's that exposure, it's getting the word out to friends and family, but it's not the be all end all. It's not going to make or break your business, because plenty of people have had amazing launch parties and they're no longer in this company because they didn't stick with it. But I wanted to tell you what happened for me, because I think I did everything right in setting up that party and reaching out to people. I'm proud of what I accomplished. And so not only did I close that party with $805 in sales, I also booked 3 parties. And so I was excited because I knew I wanted to, you know, keep going. I wasn't sure what was going to happen at that launch party, but once I was like, hello, I made money. This is exciting. I was like, I got to keep going. And so it was great to have those parties. So booking parties from parties, in my opinion, easiest way. And that's, I'm going to circle back. That's why it's great to have your own parties. You can do it every month if you want. If that's overkill for you, do it every other month. You can change up the theme. You can change up maybe the focus. Maybe, you know, maybe it's wax and warmers one month. Maybe it's not everything. Maybe the next month it's, you know, soaks. And maybe you can continue to invite some of the same people to those multiple parties, because maybe they're not ready to make a purchase right now, but next month would be better. Or maybe they love everything and they invite a couple friends. Like, there's just, I mean, you guys, possibilities are like so endless in all of this. So the next thing that I wanted to say about booking parties. So if you have none at this moment for 2021, don't beat yourself up, but figure out what you're going to do to change that. So I highly encourage you play booking games. You can play booking games at your parties. You can play booking games in your VIP group. You can play booking games on your business page. And there's a lot of different ones. The one that I play is called the Dice Game. And I got that from my friend Amanda over at that.life. But there's variations of it that you can do without having the game. But I'm like, as much as I enjoy making graphics, I'd rather someone just do it all for me and tell me what to say and do, and then I'll just repeat. At your parties, or even at your virtual parties, I like the idea of stacking the hostess. Has anybody ever heard of stacking the hostess? Okay, so imagine your hostess. Pretend I'm your hostess for a second. So I'm sitting in a chair, and the visual will be a home party. So I just hosted a home party with you, or we're at my home party, and you have some pink zebra boxes, and you say, all right, first of all, let's thank Melina for hosting tonight so that we could all get together and sniff our faces off. and here's her little gift for coming. And so now I'm holding my gift, but you say, you know, Melina has the opportunity to earn free and half price goodies with her party. The company average for a party like this is $400. And so that means, and y'all will have to help me because I don't know it off the top of my head, but I think that's like $40 or $60 free credit. Who has a catalog? Oh, Lucinda has a catalog. Is it 40 or 60?
60.
You're on. Oh, 60.
60.
Okay.
Yeah, 60.
Is it 3 half price items?
Yes.
Okay, so $60. So Melina's going to get $60 in host credit, and you know, maybe you hand me a simmering light and an accent shade that equal about 60. Yeah, that sounds fair. So maybe it's one of the crackles that's 38 and it's a $25 accent shade, just for the sake of math. Oh, John has arrived. Hey, John. John just messaged me. He just hit his second quick start, but I couldn't respond because I was in the middle of this video. So here I am. I'm holding a simmering light box, and the box that the base comes in, and I'm holding an accent shade box. So I've got it on my lap. And then you're like, well, Melina also gets 3 half price items with her host rewards. And then you hand me, you know, maybe 2 cartons and let's just say a bottle of soaps, because I feel like everyone needs soaps. So you've stacked those host rewards on me as a representation of what I could get with my party sales. That's a really powerful booking tool, or booking, just like booking tool. So then you could say, well, you know, so our company average is $400, but at the $500 level, this party would give a day of daycare to a single mom through our Heroes program. So that $500 party is going to get Melina an additional $20. Am I right, Lucinda? $20 in host rewards. And then is it a fourth? Oh, it's still 3? Okay. So with that $20, like, let's throw a wall hug at me. And so I'm holding, you know, something else, maybe a wall hug and like one of the Just Add Soaps lotions, because I know those are $5 and $15. Sorry, my phone fell. So then I'm holding all these things, and that's pretty cool. So not only is the host excited because she's like, oh my gosh, like we have to get to at least 400, but like, let's get to 500. I've had people like get so excited and so behind having that $500 party, because it means that day of daycare. Like, people want to be a part of that. They want to know, like, wow, our party sales helped somebody. So that's a cool way to do it. Now, virtually, it's a little bit harder because you're not there with your host. But one thing that you could do, I mean, this is kind of crazy, but you could do this. You could have your host send you a photo of themselves standing up, and you could take pictures of Pink Zebra boxes or even the products, and you could stack them up in a graphic. You could do that in Canva, and make it look like, have them take the picture of them like trying to hold things and then just stack them on top. You know, it doesn't have to be perfect. It's like, we don't have to be perfect in that respect, but it'd be really fun. Another thing that I've done with online parties is I've done 2 things. So I've had the host give me a wish list of the things that they like, and I've created a graphic with those images in it just to show people just things that the host is wishing for. And then I'll explain, like, you know, our party average is XYZ, and, you know, that means that Susie could end up getting everything on her list for $20, whatever it is. You got to do a little math, and I can help you guys with that if you're not yet comfortable doing host reward math. Host reward math is very different math than you will ever do in your life, and I can help. The other thing that I've done after my parties is, when my hosts get their rewards, I have them take a picture with them Like, show me all your goodies that you got opened up, and I will share on my business page or even in my customer group, like, shout out to Susie who hosted with me. She just got her host awards from her party, and she paid XYZ for all this. Or guess how much she spent. I've done that. I've had a picture of all the items that the host got on their host order, and it's like, guess how much the host paid. And I'll tell them, like, it's an $85 value, it's $100 value, whatever it is. And that's just, sometimes we're not necessarily getting the booking right away. Sometimes we are planting seeds. Hold on one second. I had someone come to a Facebook party, and she didn't book a party with me. She placed an order to support the host, but she didn't book her own party. But then she got her rewards, she got her order, loved everything. And she's like, I really think I should have a party because I think my friends and family would like these products too. And so, we were talking earlier before we started recording, sometimes you're planting seeds and you're not necessarily seeing anything come from it. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, well, now I have people who've received their orders that want to have these parties. And that's why customer follow-up is huge. We're going to talk about that in another video. But checking in with people after they get their order, because I've had people come to parties, play my dice game, say, no, I don't think I'm interested in hosting right now, get their goodies, and they're like, okay, can you tell me about how a party works again? And I'm like, I'm sitting there thinking, like, you just went to one. Like, did you forget what we did? We're going to do that again, but we're going to do it with your friends. So there's that. So the last thing that I want to talk about, and I'm not sure how long we've been recording, but I'll try to be brief with it. And then we're going to open it up for questions and any open discussion, anything people want to share, any ideas about. We're going to keep it focused on booking and parties for today, or host coaching, which is the next thing I'm going to talk about. So with host coaching, this is like such a beast because the way I put it is, we as Pink Zebra Consultants, we are the party train conductor. So think of it that way. A train conductor knows the route to get to wherever it is they're going. And in our case, we want to get to Party Town. Our host does not know how to get to Party Town because they're not the conductor. They are the passenger. They're a first class passenger on our train because they're more special than a regular passenger. And so we've got to give them the steps. We've got to tell them how to get to Party Town. And so with that comes, sometimes it's how many people to invite, how to invite those people, how to get outside orders. I'll just be honest, a lot of the success I've had in my business has happened in Facebook Messenger or over text. It's not the things you see. It's not the cute graphics that I made. It's the connections and the relationships that are all being built behind the scenes. And, with parties, I've done everything right. I've coached them well and still had poopy parties. And I've had parties where I did nothing right and I still had a good party. So it's going to happen. I think more often than not, though, it's better to do everything right. Don't assume, I've had to learn, it doesn't matter if the person has been in their, maybe they're a direct seller too. If they've been doing it for 20 years, don't assume that they know how to be a good host, because those are some of the people who have, and this is no offense to my direct sale sisters, but those are some of the people who've had the worst parties for me. I don't know if it's their friends are overloaded with parties. Maybe they're constantly hosting, or maybe they just don't know how to be a good host. And if you're not telling them, then they're not going to know what to do. This is probably the most I've talked all week. I know it's Monday, but I don't think I talked this much yesterday. So So a couple things I wanted to share about host coaching. So I encourage you, especially now while we're kind of ramping up for the new year, sit down and figure out what is it that you need from your host. So I think in terms of really any party, we need people to show up to the party, whether that's in person or online. And what's the best way to do that? So as cumbersome as it may feel, I think private messages, inviting people personally to a party, is the best way to get them there. Now, you have some hosts that they won't do it. They just won't. But in the nicest way possible, you have to position yourself as the expert, but also, you know, I like to be upfront with people and say, look, my job is to make sure you guys have so much fun at your online party, but your job is to get people to show up, because you're going to get host rewards depending on the party sales. So we want people there who fall in love with Pink Zebra and want to order goodies so that I can give you free and half price goodies. We can't give people those rewards if the sales are zero. And some people don't understand that. But that's not how it works. So I typically tell people for an online party, like 50 is the magic number. I wouldn't recommend inviting more than that, because what happens, like, people think more is more, less is more. Quantity or quality over quantity all day, every day for an online party. If you invite 300 people, most people will do what I do. First of all, no host is going to message all 300 people, unless they're just a ninja and can copy and paste like a mad person. But most people won't message that many people, so they probably won't message anyone. But if I get invited to a party and I see that 300 people have been invited, I almost immediately say, well, they don't need me to come. She's got all those other people. Those people can show up and place orders and help her. She's got enough. She doesn't need me. And so I click not going. I don't know why I'm coughing. So weird. Feels like I got, like, I don't know, maybe I have a fingernail. I do bite my nails. I try not to. It's so bad. But don't shake your head at me, Lucinda. Yeah, it's bad. And I feel like maybe I did, and then now it's like in my throat.
It's just a dirty habit.
It's so dirty. But thank goodness I have super clean hand sanitizer.
Exactly.
Germ-free. Honestly, it may not even be that. It may just be a tickle. But anyways, so yeah, so a lot of the times, I mean, I feel like, you know, sometimes I feel like I have to apologize for this, and other times I don't. But I am a Facebook party snob. I won't show up to those parties with 300 people because I feel like I was just invited because I have a wallet. And like, that's not how we want people to feel. We want people to feel excited that they were invited to a party. I hosted a party over the summer for like a what kind of company was it? Like, I don't want to say underwear because that sounds really weird, but like, I guess it was underwear. It was bras and underwear. So that's why John wasn't invited. I don't think they have any men's products, but like, it was that kind of party. I had been intrigued with the product, and I was like, you know what, I'm just going to do it. I didn't even really know this girl very well, but we were Facebook friends. We got connected somewhere, somehow. And I was like, I'm just going to make her day and reach out to her and tell her I want to have a party. So I did. And I didn't invite a million people. I told people, actually, I think I posted about it on my personal page, the kind of party that I was having. Of course, I did have some guys comment, which, you know, that was funny. I told them they were welcome to come if they wanted. It was just online. But I got interest from people through that post, and then other people that I knew liked underwear. I know that's funny. I have a friend, Danielle, who has 300 pairs of underwear. I knew to invite her. I invited my sister. I invited like people who I thought care about that kind of stuff. Like, we want nice bras. And actually, like, it's so weird. You can't really see very well, but I got this, like, what is this called? Waffle knit jacket thing as part of my host awards. Like, that's not even a bra, but they had like leggings and, you know, some workout clothes and stuff like that. And I just thought, well, this will be fun. So I personally messaged people, and I ended up having like a $700 or $800 party. It was kind of bananas. And I mean, the products were not cheap by any means. But people still came. So that was kind of amazing. And I'm sure I brought that up for a reason, probably because she hostess coached me, but I also hostess coached myself. I wanted to have a good party. I didn't want to host a party for someone and then be like, we sold one bra. I wanted it to be good for everybody. And so I took her advice, but I also, you know, I did that post on my personal page because I feel like that's a way to kind of get some interest before the party. I've done that for some of my own Pink Zebra parties that I've hosted. So that's one thing I recommend people do. And then obviously I recommend people keep the guest list low. I'm actually experimenting with something that I'll totally tell you guys all about once I actually try it and see how it works. But I'm experimenting with encouraging my hosts to invite 20 people instead of 50. So we'll see how that all goes. But for now, just keep 50 is a great number. It's a great round number. It's not too overwhelming. The goal is, here's the science behind the 50. If you invite 50 people, if the host invites 50 people and she actually messages all of them to say, hey, Susie, hey, Sally, hey, you know, Martha. I don't know why those are the friends' names, but those are what I thought of. I'm having this Pink Zebra party with my friend Lucinda. She just started selling this awesome product. It's home fragrance, home decor. I'd love for you to come and check it out. It's next Thursday on Facebook at 8:30. Is it cool if I invite you? Or is it okay if I invite you? However you want to have her say it. If she does that with all 50, the numbers tell us that about 25 will actually like RSVP to that party. Not all 25 will probably take you up on samples. I mean, I guess there are instances where that could happen. I did have a party with like about 40 people who RSVP'd, and about 25 of them did ask for samples. And I sent them all, and it was a $1,200 Facebook party. So it was worth it. But if 25 say, yes, I'm going, about half will actually show up on party night. That's the way the averages work. And so that's why 50 is a great number. Because if 12 people actually show up on Facebook party night and interact with the post, then, you know, you should, and this is not always, you know, how it goes, because we can't tell people how much they're going to spend with us. We can hope they spend money. But if 12 people show up, it should at least be a $200 party, depending on who you're partying with. So that's what I wanted to say about host coaching. The other thing that I want to say is something that I've heard, but I haven't implemented yet, is when someone books a party with you, find out how they like to communicate. Some people do like to talk on the phone. Some people prefer text message. Some people prefer Facebook Messenger. So ask them the best way to communicate with them. If they don't like to talk on the phone, then you're probably going to fail at host coaching them over the phone. If they like to text and they don't mind watching videos, you could actually make quick little videos. I'm actually going to do this and probably use the dog. She doesn't know it yet, but she's my newest unofficial team member. It's going to be like Ava's tips for an awesome Facebook party with her mommy, Melina, or something cute like that. And Ava's going to be like, here's what you do. And I'll just make quick little videos. And, you know, when the host books with me and we pick the date and all that jazz, you know, there'll be a video with kind of what to expect. Like, okay, I'm going to set up a Facebook event or group, however you do it, you know, a week before party night or whatever. Go ahead and start thinking about who you want to invite. Work on your list. Let me know when your list is ready. Your list will be ready when you've got 50 friends, family, etc. on the list. Let me know if you have trouble thinking of people to invite. And then they've got their list. And then it could be another little video that's like, okay, here's my super, super simple message that you can send your friends and family to let them know about your party. And then maybe it's, hey, here's a simple idea to post about your party on your personal page. I recommend people do both, because I have had really good response saying like, hey, I'm having a bra party, or hey, I'm having, I'm trying to think of like other parties that I've hosted. I can't remember. I'm having a 31 party or whatever. So there's that. And then maybe there's another video that it's like, your friends have started to RSVP to the party. Are you so excited? Please, go ahead and work on your wish list if you haven't already, and let me know what goodies are on your wish list, kind of thing. Like, what are you wishing for? So you can plan all this out and have it all, and it's not something you have to do new every single time. Does that make sense? Okay. So that's all I got for my portion. So I'm still going to keep recording, but I'm going to let you guys ask questions, or if you have any ideas, anything that maybe I didn't share that has worked for you, or just something maybe you've been thinking about. I'd love to know. I know I made it the Melina show. So now it's your turn. Or just share what your favorite tip was. I think Vicky,
Okay. My favorite tip, something I haven't really thought about trying, and I don't know. I think maybe I have tried this before, the unparty, the referral kind of thing, where you're, because I get a lot of people that just place orders and they're really not in any kind of party. And, by the end of the month, before the end of the month, I'll go ahead and just throw them in, the existing party that I have made up for myself. But, that would be a good one, just to throw it out there, let them know how much they are from, that $200 mark, and that it wouldn't be hard to get just a couple or a few friends together, to, end up getting something for nothing, maybe, so I think I'm going to implement that a little bit more.
Yeah. And we can, I went through kind of like what I would say, but we can definitely talk about it more, or in the group or whatever.
Right.
On just,
I think that's the main thing in general when especially newbies, and it took me a while to get this too, and the struggle's still there a little bit, but people just don't really know what to say or how to ask to have parties. And, if you don't try, you'll never know. The answer will always be no.
That's true.
But, maybe that would be a good topic too, especially with, people that may be on the shyer side, or, not used to doing direct sales. Knowing, they just don't know what to say to people. And then they hear a no, and then they freak out. Oh, my life is over. I'm never going to be good at this. And, because, no is scary.
It
sometimes.
is scary. I get told no all the time.
Yeah.
And
so
so the one thing I'll say about no's is sometimes it means not now. Sometimes
That's
it really means no. And sometimes that's a blessing in disguise.
Yes.
But yeah, I think there's actually, and I'll double check, but I think there's some verbiage in our group. I'll find it and figure out how to like push it back up in the group news feed. But, anytime you're doing something, if you just want to like either post in the group or message me or your sponsor and say, here's what I'm going to do, and here's what I think I want to say. Vicki, you've done this with me multiple times. Like, here's what I think I'm going to say. I will give you my honest feedback.
And she will.
I will. And not in a mean way, in a loving way, in a very helpful way, because Because I think like our brains are truly wired one way. And I think, you know, we were talking earlier about like the difference between like being an employee and being a CEO or thinking like an entrepreneur. Our brains are conditioned to think, okay, this is the right approach. This is what I need to say. I'm hosting a party, or I've started this new business, and I'm just going to go and like message all these people like blah, blah, blah. And that blah, blah, blah is, I won't say wrong, but maybe it's not the right approach. Maybe messaging someone and saying, hey, I just started selling Pink Zebra, what do you want to order? is maybe, I mean, that's probably wrong, but it's not the right approach to get someone interested, intrigued, curious. That's not the way to do it. And so I don't know how I don't know, my brain is just, maybe it's just following people like Amanda Todd and like following the tag team for so long, that my philosophy is always just keep it simple. Like, think about how you would talk to the person if you were saying it to them face to face. Like, so Vicky, if you and I were having a conversation, I wouldn't be like, hey, I'm having a Facebook party next Thursday for Pink Zebra. Pink Zebra is a home fragrance and home decor company, and I just started selling it. And I wanted to invite you. And if I sell this much, I get this much, blah, blah, blah. And like, I wouldn't do that. I'd be like, hey, Vicky, I forgot to tell you, I'm having a Facebook party next Thursday with Pink Zebra. I actually just joined the company. And I'm just inviting some of my friends and family that I know love me just to come and check it out and just learn a little bit more about the products in the company. Would you come check it out? Like, who would say no to that? Only buttholes. Sorry, I said buttholes on live TV that I'm recording. But like, really, I didn't ask you to buy anything. I didn't ask you to host a party. I just asked you to come. And then when like that, I think that helps people put their guard down a little bit. So then when they come, by the way, I just have to say I'm loving John's shelfie behind him. He's got his products. I love it. People come and the whole party is that way. It's fun. It's light, low key. It's not, I mean, you guys, I've been in parties before that the consultant numbered the post. And like, when we got to 42, I was done before that, but I was like, I just need to go. I just need to go. So I left. That's the beauty about online parties. The beauty and the curse about online parties is that people don't have to show up and they can leave at any time. So my philosophy is just like, keep it simple, keep it fun. And people get a little thrown off by how I do my Facebook parties. Like, when I say people, I mean like consultants, like other consultants, because they're like, that's all you did? And I'm like, yeah, that's literally all I did for the party. I sent people samples. People are messaging me when they get their samples, telling me how much they love it. I'm hearing from people that they want to order, but like the actual like party, light, simple, fun. And I had a host tell me, she's like, Melina, you just like got straight to the point. We just, no fuss, no mess. It's like, that's just what works for me. I can't do it any other way. I can't do 42 party posts. I wouldn't even know what to say in all those posts. So, but I love parties. And parties are how John hit his second quick start. I don't mean to like call you out, but I'm calling you out. Yeah, John's gonna teach a master class on how to sell. I don't even know what he's doing over there. I just keep seeing the sales go up, and then he messages me and tells me how close he is. Who knows? He could, for all we know, he could be doing something very illegal. He could be selling it like, I don't know. I'm just kidding. Not illegal. I'm totally joking, but who knows? But he's just having parties and he's hustling. I don't see him posting a ton on social media about Pink Zebra. Like, every once in a while I see stuff. So I would imagine a lot of his stuff is happening behind the scenes, stuff that we don't see. Yep. And that's how I'm doing it too. So I had someone, just side story, and then if there's no questions, we can hop off. But I had a girl reach out to me, ask for samples. I sent them to her. She got them after, it was crazy. It took like a week and a half to get to her, and she's just in South Carolina. God bless the Postal Service. They've really had a hard time. It'll get better. It really will. But she finally got her samples, and she's like, okay, I love these. These are the scents that I love. Like, I think I might've sent her 4 or 5 just because I was trying to like really woo her and impress her. And so she got them, and she liked 3 out of the 5, and ended up, she was asking like how they come and all that jazz. And we worked out like, I gave her my party special, even though it wasn't a party. I do that sometimes. Like, basically anytime somebody wants to order, if they're like, what specials are you offering? Well, I can give you my party special, even though you're not in a party. And I don't just offer that to people outside of a party unless they just ask. Sometimes people like deals. That's what it is. So anyways, she ended up placing an order. She got her order. She loves it, all that jazz. And like, nobody saw that. That all happened in Messenger. Like, I love doing my business that way. Like, I know that sounds weird, but I love like building that relationship behind the scenes, just connecting with people that way. And so even for my Facebook parties, a lot of that all happens that way. We're going to talk more about like samples and stuff tomorrow. Well, actually probably tomorrow and Thursday, but I've done it a couple different ways with that, where I've had people like message me if they want samples. And then I've also had people fill out like a Google form to give me their information. While the Google form is easier for me to track, I prefer people to message me, because when they message me and say like, hey, here's the kinds of scents I like fruity and clean and, yummy or whatever. Then I'm like, great, awesome. I know exactly what to send you. I'm so excited to hear what you think of your samples when you get them. Tell me, how are you fragrancing your house currently? And sometimes they'll say, wax and warmers or whatever. They'll say whatever. And based on what they say, I pretty much have like a response in mind of what I'll say. Some people will say candles or wax. And I'll say, oh, great. So do you already have wax warmers? And they'll say yes or no. If they don't, I'm like, okay, do you have any candles? And if they do, then I'm like, hey, I'm going to send you these sprinkle samples. They're wax. You can try them on top of your candles. Like, I'm having all that. We're doing that behind the scenes. It's not happening in the party necessarily. But those conversations really, I feel like, kind of, I won't say they determine the outcome of the party, but they absolutely help the outcome. So then, I have a sample tracker that we'll talk more about on Thursday. And, I personally send my samples in a bubble mailer now, first class with tracking, so that I can keep an eye on them. That's how I know that my new customer, Kelsey, how hers took a week and a half, because I was able to track it. And I can just hop on Pirate Ship and check my tracking really, really easily, and then reach out, when I think that they've had a chance to open their mailbox. And then I say like, hey, what did you think? I just want to make sure your samples made it to you. Sometimes they message me before I can message them. Sometimes they post in the party to show their samples. And that's really super awesome and helpful. And I need to probably make something like a little card to encourage them to do that. But I haven't yet, that's a 2021 project, but all that little stuff, like, I feel like really helps it. And again, like we talked about earlier, sometimes it's planting seeds. Sometimes I'm sending, it feels like I'm sending 20 people samples, and I'm like, oh, that was like, it's not a lot of sprinkles at the end of the day, but it's usually costing me $3 a pop to send them. Okay. That's a lot. That's not just chump change. But if that, turns into $500 or $600 in sales or more, then it's all totally worth it. So on that note, we will wrap up. Does anyone have any final questions before I stop recording? Lucinda does.
And I don't know a lot of you yet, and I have asked a couple, but I haven't really got a full response. I struggle with Facebook parties. I've had them anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour. I'm not going to go into detail about how some of them went, but I would greatly appreciate it if like somebody would not mind add me as a friend, maybe and I would not interfere with your business or anything, but add me as a friend, maybe tag me in a party and maybe just let me see how you do it. Maybe I'm doing it wrong. If anybody has, can do that, I would really appreciate it. I'm new. John, I know you're new. You've done past me in your sales. I'm so devious. But this is my second month. I'm still on my third one, and I've not hit that mark. I want to know how you do that. You could take your mic off and like really fill us in on some key details.
Yeah. John, no pressure, but we just put you on the spot. What
How in the world are you doing this?
you want to share just I don't know, what's been working for you? Obviously, you were on our team before and you took a little bit of a hiatus. So you didn't come back like completely brand new, but it feels different. I don't know if you feel like it feels different this time. We can't hear you.
you.
You might be
Can't hear you.
muted a different way. Are you on a phone? It's very like quiet. Oh, maybe he's
Gotta go around and get another device.
microphone.
And I don't care if
connected to
it be
Bluetooth.
you,
This is like
Melina, or Vicky,
talking.
or John, or April. If somebody didn't mind inviting me to just a simple party, I would really greatly appreciate it.
I don't have any parties going on right now, but something different between Melina and I. She does Facebook events. I do Facebook parties in a group. So I actually have past Facebook parties that I have done in a group. Still, I can add you to them, and you're more than welcome just to scroll through it just to see how I post, what I post. But
Absolutely.
whenever I do have a party, I'm hoping real soon, I have no problem adding you to it.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Yeah. All right. I'm going to be quiet now. Go ahead, John.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, perfect. So I think one of the big things is a lot of my family was customers before. And so whenever I started again, they were all super excited to get more stuff. So that helped me a lot. Also, since I do work with community all the time because I am co-owner of a salon, I kind of try to use that kind of like a in, if that makes sense. And so I do use a warmer in my spa room and stuff. And so clients always ask what I'm burning and all that. And I feel like I do send out a lot of samples like Melina does. The starter kit really helped me with that because I was like, I don't want to buy a lot of sprinkles, but since I already had them, might as well use them. Yeah, I feel like whenever I joined again, it was really just so that I could get the discount. But it's kind of taken over more than that because I've been selling a lot more than I expected. But yeah, I don't know.
That is helpful.
Yeah.
It's just putting it out there, you know?
Right.
Like, and we all have different, I feel like you're one of the only ones that's like working outside your home, like with people, like,
right.
You know,
yeah.
I'm here. I can't imagine, you know, if I was just starting my business and like not really going places, like I would have to rely solely on like people I knew, sending them samples, branching out that way. So it's definitely different than you know how it was for me in the beginning, where I was in an office and I could talk to people. It's very, very, very different. But yeah, I mean, even that, you said you're sending out a lot of samples. So like samples they're huge. That's like, I feel like postage for me will always be my biggest expense, and I'm totally okay with that. And it's just, not everybody gets samples and ends up ordering and becoming a customer, but I've had people become customers who did get samples, and then 3 years later they're still customers. So like the return on that investment can be huge for sure.
Another thing that I've noticed has really helped me is I have a prize for the first $50 order in parties.
Ooh, I like
so that always is like a big thing, because I don't ever tell them what the prize is, because it's pretty much just whatever I have on hand. But that kind of motivates whoever's in your party to kind of get your order in first. And so that's how my biggest party happened, was because I did that for the first time, and it just seemed like orders went in really fast, and which was also nice because then I didn't have to worry about when I was going to close the party, because everyone had their orders in. So that's really too. But
awesome. Yeah, that's smart to do a like, not like an early bird thing, but like, yeah, the first person to order. I like that. So what kind of things have you given away doing that?
So I've given away jars of sprinkles. I've given away, I think I gave away a wall hug once. So it's nothing like super expensive or pricey or anything, but and then I've made a couple, like, I would call them like sample packs, I guess. Kind of like what you do, Melina, with the samples in the catalog or whatever.
Yeah.
I've done a couple of those. I think that's about it, but yeah.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, that's not something that I've done. So that's another thing for me to implement in 2021.
Yeah.
Everybody wants a prize. People will do crazy things for a gift. It's crazy. I've done really foolish things for a pencil before. So that's another story for another day. Don't worry. It was legal. It was all legal. Any other final questions before we go? Or John, anything else you want to share? No? Well, we appreciate you sharing with us. And I thank you all for hopping on. I'm going to stop the recording, and I'll get this on YouTube and share the link in our group so you guys can come back and check it out, or our folks who weren't able to hop on, can watch the replay. So thank you all. I appreciate it.